I never imagined my marriage would end because of a lie, especially one told by someone who wasn't even part of our relationship. But that's exactly what happened. My wife trusted her best friend more than she trusted me, and by the time the truth came to light, the damage was already done. I'm 35 now, freshly divorced, and honestly, I still can't quite believe how everything unraveled. Claire and I were together for 6 years, married for 2. And thinking back, the signs were there. Not flashing neon signs, more like quiet warnings I didn't want to admit were real. You know that feeling when you're so in love that you convince yourself everything is fine, even when your gut is screaming otherwise? Yeah, that was me. And the biggest warning sign came wrapped in the shape of her best friend, Vanessa. Let me paint the picture. Have you ever met someone and instantly thought, oh, this person is going to be a problem? That was Vanessa. Loud. Dramatic. Loved being the center of attention. She walked into a room like she expected cameras to follow her. And from the first handshake, I could tell she didn't like me. She scanned me up and down like she was evaluating a car she had no intention of buying. But Claire? She adored her. They were college besties, the ride or die, survived every heartbreak together type. I didn't want to be the bad guy, so I swallowed my doubts and tried to be polite. Tried. But Vanessa knew exactly how to press buttons. Everything truly started sliding downhill when we were planning our wedding. I'd proposed after 3 years of dating. We were already living together, things were good, it just felt right. Claire cried happy tears. I was excited too. Then Vanessa showed up with her opinions. At first it was harmless, she called our color scheme basic. I shrugged it off. Who cares? Then she decided our menu wasn't good enough and insisted we overhaul it to include vegan options because, apparently, half the guests would want them. Spoiler, we had 2 vegetarians total, and one of them ate fish. But the breaking point? Vanessa wanted to walk down the aisle. Before the bridesmaids. As if she was headlining the event. I legit thought she was joking. Who asks for that? But when she delivered her explanation, I've been there for Claire through every breakup, every dark moment, I deserve this recognition, this day is about celebrating us too, my brain almost short-circuited. What did she think this was, a friendship ceremony? I told Claire, gently at first, this is our wedding. Not Vanessa's stage show. Your sister is your maid of honor, she shouldn't be overshadowed. Claire instantly bristled. She accused me of overreacting, and meanwhile Vanessa gasped dramatically like I'd just kicked her puppy. Wow, she said, all wounded pride. Didn't realize your fiancé was such a control freak. That one hit me hard. And the worst part? Claire didn't defend me. She just murmured, it's one tiny thing, if it makes her happy, why not? So yes? Vanessa got her grand runway moment. She practically floated down the aisle like it was her wedding day. I caught my parents exchanging looks, you know the type, but I just smiled for the photos and prayed it would all calm down once the wedding hype faded. I was wrong. So wrong. Instead of fading into the background, Vanessa became even more woven into our marriage. Every plan Claire and I made? Vanessa somehow ended up involved. Oh, I already told Vanessa she could come, Claire would say casually. Or, Vanessa found a better restaurant. Or, Vanessa thinks we should try this instead. It was like living in a relationship with an unwanted third wheel who never went home. When I tried to bring it up, gently, Claire shut me down immediately. She's my best friend, she snapped. You don't understand everything she's done for me. Maybe I didn't. I wasn't there for their college stories, their late-night crying sessions, the messy exes. But I did understand one thing very clearly. Vanessa did not respect me. She did not respect my marriage. And Claire refused to see it. Still, I kept quiet. I tried not to rock the boat. I kept telling myself I didn't want to push Claire away, but all that did was give Vanessa permission to wedge herself even deeper into our life. And eventually, I learned just how deep those claws went. About a year into the marriage, things were actually okay. Calm. Predictable in a nice way. Claire and I had our routine, work, dinners, silly show marathons on weekends. It wasn't perfect, but it felt steady. Then one Friday night, the doorbell rang, and everything flipped upside down. I was in the kitchen chopping onions for tacos. Claire walked to the door, and the next thing I heard was loud, panicked crying. The kind that makes your stomach drop. I peeked around the corner, and there she was, Vanessa. Mascara smeared, hair wild, gripping Claire like she'd narrowly escaped disaster. A duffel bag was slung over her shoulder, never a good sign. He left me, she wailed, practically shaking. I can't do this alone. Claire brought her inside like she was carrying a wounded animal. She shot me a look that basically said, we'll talk later, don't say anything. Vanessa collapsed onto our couch, sobbing through the story of her breakup. According to her, her boyfriend Tyler dumped her over text because they weren't compatible. She said she'd been perfect, of course, and he was just commitment phobic. Claire stroked her hair while Vanessa dramatized every detail. Meanwhile, I stayed in the kitchen trying not to burn the taco meat, listening to her meltdown echo down the hallway. Then Claire asked softly, do you have anywhere to stay tonight? Vanessa glanced at me, and I swear she paused just long enough to make it uncomfortable, and whispered, no. I can't go home. My parents will say they told me so. Everyone else is busy. I didn't know where else to go. I felt the dread before the words even came out of Claire's mouth. Would it be okay if Vanessa stayed with us for a few days? Just until she figures things out? What was I supposed to do? Say no and look like the villain while she cried on our couch? So I forced a smile and said, yeah, of course. And with that one sentence, I opened the door to the disaster that would blow my marriage apart. And trust me, things only got worse from here. At first, I really tried to be patient. I mean, heartbreak does weird things to people, right? I figured Vanessa just needed a few days to cry it out, eat ice cream, maybe watch some sad movies, and then she'd go back home and we'd get our lives back. But by the end of that first week, it was obvious, painfully obvious, that a few days had turned into an open-ended residency. And it wasn't just that she was staying with us. No, she was taking over the house. Completely. The guest room, the one Claire and I kept spotless because it made us proud to have a nice, clean home, turned into a war zone. I'm talking clothes everywhere. Not folded. Not organized. Just tossed around like she'd opened her suitcase and detonated it. Dirty coffee mugs, half-eaten takeout containers, crumpled tissues, it looked like a sitcom writer's exaggerated joke about a messy roommate. Except this wasn't a sitcom. And Vanessa was 34. 34. She basically migrated to the living room and nested there like a noisy, emotional pigeon. Every time I came home from work, I'd find her sprawled across the couch in her pajamas, wrapped in a blanket like a burrito, munching from a jumbo bag of chips while blasting some reality show at full volume. And I mean full volume. It felt like the TV was personally yelling at me. She'd barely even look up when I walked in. Just a lazy, hey, with crumbs on her shirt like this was her home and I was the guest. And the kitchen? Oh boy. The kitchen became a crime scene. Vanessa couldn't cook to save her life, but that didn't stop her from experimenting with every pan and pot we owned. I'd wake up to find the sink filled with dirty dishes, mystery sauces hardened onto pans, and half-assembled meals abandoned on the counters like culinary corpses. One night, after scraping dried pasta from a pot for 10 minutes, I finally pulled Claire aside. I know Vanessa's hurting, I said quietly. I do. But she's treating this place like an all-inclusive resort. This isn't fair to us. Claire sighed, torn, rubbing her arms like she was trying to warm herself from the inside. I know. But she doesn't have anywhere else. She just needs more time. More time? I asked. It's been 2 weeks. 2 full weeks. How long is this supposed to go on? She hesitated. I'll talk to her. She tried, I'll give her that, but Vanessa could win an Oscar with those tears. The moment Claire brought up boundaries, Vanessa launched into her dramatics. I'm so sorry if my existence is such a burden, she sniffed, her eyes shimmering with weaponized sadness. If you want me to leave, I'll just go. I'll figure it out. Somehow. And of course Claire rushed in. No, that's not what we mean. We just want to make sure you're okay. Vanessa knew exactly how to twist the knife. And Claire let her twist it every time. But the final straw? The moment I realized we'd hit the point of no return? It came one Saturday morning. I walked into the backyard to get my tools for a small DIY project. I expected to find everything where I left it. Instead, I stepped out and froze like someone had hit pause on my entire body. My drill. My saw. My toolbox. All of it was scattered around the patio like a tornado had passed through. And right in the middle of this chaos sat Vanessa, sitting in the grass, barefoot, painting random pieces of wood in neon pink and lime green. I blinked hard, wondering if maybe I was hallucinating. What's all this? I said, pointing at my tools lying everywhere. She didn't even flinch. Just dipped her brush, totally unbothered. My therapist said I should try something creative, she said calmly. It's supposed to help me process my emotions. And you went through my tools? I asked, my jaw tightening. She shrugged like it was nothing. I didn't think you'd mind. That was it. The last nerve I had snapped clean in half. I marched inside, found Claire in the kitchen, and said, firmly, clearly, no room for debate. She has to go. I'm not asking anymore. Claire looked stunned, like she didn't recognize the man in front of her. What happened? What happened? I repeated. She's treating this house like her playground. I've tried. I've been patient. But enough is enough. She needs to leave. Claire pressed her hands to her temples, exhaling shakily. Okay. I'll talk to her. But this time? I wasn't leaving it up to her. I sat them both down, right there at the dining table, and laid it out plainly. Vanessa, we've tried to support you. But it's been a month. We can't keep doing this. You need to find another place. She stared at me like I'd slapped her. You're kicking me out while I'm at my lowest? She cried. Wow. What a great friend you are. I'm not kicking you out today, I said calmly. But you need to start packing. It's time. Claire looked torn, but for once, she didn't take Vanessa's side. Vanessa left a week later, dramatic exit, stormy attitude, mumbling about how I'd always been controlling and Claire deserved better. But when her car finally pulled out of our driveway, I swear, the whole house exhaled. For the first time in weeks, it actually felt like home again. Peaceful. Ours. But even with that relief buzzing in the air, I knew deep down this wasn't the end of the Vanessa saga. And I was right. Because the real damage, the kind you can't sweep up or throw out, hit us on a random Saturday. Tidy, boring, completely ordinary. The kind of Saturday you never expect to become the turning point of your life. Claire had gone out for brunch with Vanessa. I hated it, sure, but I'd stopped giving an opinion. What was the point? Vanessa always found her way back into our orbit. I stayed home running errands. Grocery run, laundry, a bit of yard work, nothing memorable. By the time Claire walked through the door, I was unloading bags of produce onto the counter. Hey, babe, I called out. She barely mumbled a hey back and disappeared into the bedroom without looking at me. I paused midair, holding a bag of apples, staring at the hallway like it had personally offended me. Was she mad at me? Why? She stayed cold the rest of the day. One-word answers. Barely any eye contact. Glued to her phone like she was waiting for a message from God. Every time I asked what was wrong, she gave the classic, I'm fine. She was absolutely not fine. I figured maybe Vanessa dumped some emotional hurricane on her at brunch and Claire needed space. That seemed logical. But that night, things got weird. She barely ate dinner, claimed she was tired, and went to bed early. When I slipped into the bedroom later, she was curled all the way on the far edge of the mattress, facing the wall. That sinking feeling settled deep in my stomach, the one that tells you something is wrong but you don't know what yet. The next morning, I had enough of the guessing. "Claire," I said, sitting up. "Seriously. What's going on? You've been acting strange since you got home yesterday." She sat there, stiff, silent, and then finally looked at me with this mixture of pain and anger that made my chest tighten. "I need to ask you something," she said quietly. "And I need you to be honest." My heart thudded hard enough that I felt it in my ears. "Okay, ask me." She inhaled slowly, like she needed the courage, and then she said the sentence that changed everything. "Were you with someone else yesterday?" I stared at her, completely blindsided. "What? No. What are you talking about?" Her expression hardened. "Vanessa said she saw you. In a parking lot. In your car. Kissing some woman." Everything inside me went cold. Because that was the day I truly realized just how far Vanessa was willing to go. And this was only the beginning of the fallout. For a moment, just one stunned, frozen second, I didn't even know what to say. It was so out of left field that my brain couldn't process it. I actually felt the urge to laugh because of how absurd it sounded, but then I looked at Claire's face. She wasn't joking. She wasn't confused. She was hurt. And she was ready to believe the worst about me. My shock morphed into frustration. "Claire, come on," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "That's ridiculous. I wasn't with anyone. I went to get groceries." Her eyes hardened. "She described your car," she shot back. "She said you were wearing your brown jacket. She even knew which parking lot. The one by Main Street." My mouth opened, but no sound came out for a second. "Yeah," I finally said. "Because I was there. That's where the grocery store is. I wasn't making out with anybody, I was buying milk and bread." But she stood there with her arms crossed, giving me the kind of glare that told me she'd already made up her mind about something. "So why would Vanessa say she saw you?" she asked. "Not could she be mistaken? Not is there another explanation?" Just the blunt assumption that Vanessa wouldn't lie. That question, it lit something in me. "I don't know, Claire," I snapped, voice rising before I could stop it. "Why don't you ask her?" "Because I didn't do anything." But she wasn't hearing me. Her face crumpled in a way I'd never seen before. "I don't know what to believe," she whispered. And that felt like taking a punch straight to the lungs. 6 years together. 2 years married. And she didn't know whether to believe me or Vanessa, someone who had spent our entire relationship undermining me. I stood up, pacing the room like a caged animal. "Claire, really think about this. Do you honestly believe I'd cheat? And in a parking lot? Does that even sound like something I'd do?" She didn't answer. She just stared at her hands like they held secret answers. Finally, she breathed out, "I need time to think." The next several days were hell. Claire barely spoke to me. She moved into the guest room, the same one Vanessa had trashed for a month, and said she needed space. Every time I tried to bring up the topic, she cut me off. "I'm not ready to talk. I need more time." Meanwhile, I walked around the house like I was stuck inside a fog of anger, disbelief, and betrayal. And no matter how hard I tried, my brain kept circling back to Vanessa. This was her chaos. Her playground. Drama was her oxygen. But why lie? Why go this far? Was I really such a threat to her warped little universe that she needed to burn everything down? And then there was the bigger, uglier truth I couldn't ignore. Claire believed her. That said more about our marriage than Vanessa's lies ever could. If your spouse doesn't even give you the benefit of the doubt, what do you really have? A week later, Claire packed her things. She didn't say where she was going. She didn't even look at me when she closed the door. "I need time," was all she offered. I was too exhausted to fight. The next morning, my phone buzzed. A message from Claire. "I think it's best if we separate for now. My lawyer will send the paperwork." Just like that. No conversation. No attempt to work through it. A text. And a lawyer. It felt like my entire marriage had been tossed in the trash because of one stupid lie, a lie she'd never even confirmed with me. For a few days, I was a storm. Angry. Hurt. Confused. But the longer it dragged on, the more the anger cooled into something far more dangerous, clarity. If she could throw our marriage away that quickly, maybe there wasn't much to save. And then everything spiraled. Mutual friends started acting weird around me. Whispering. Avoiding eye contact. Dropping hints about self-growth and reflecting on my actions. Even my own family started cornering me with uncomfortable questions like, "Is there any truth to what we're hearing?" I felt like I was trapped in a nightmare where everyone but me had read the script. And Claire? Silence. Total, absolute silence. No calls. No texts. It was like I didn't exist. At first, I wanted to scream. Then hurt. Then I felt nothing. If Claire didn't trust me enough to even talk, then maybe she wasn't someone I needed in my life. I wasn't going to beg someone who looked at me like a stranger. She could stay under Vanessa's spell. I was done fighting to be first in a marriage where I had always been second. If this was how it ended, then so be it. 2 months later, a random Thursday night, something happened I wasn't prepared for. I was sitting at my kitchen table, eating dinner alone, scrolling absent-mindedly through my phone when a text came in from an unknown number. "Hi. This is Sophie. I know Vanessa lied about you. Can we talk?" I stared at the screen, fork suspended midair. Sophie? The name tugged at a distant memory. I'd met her once or twice at some get-together that Vanessa dragged Claire to, one of those nights where I stood in the corner wishing I'd stayed home. Why would she text me? Why now? My first instinct was to ignore it. But I know Vanessa lied about you. Those words hit like an electric jolt. I typed back. What do you mean? What lie? Her response came almost instantly, like she'd been waiting for me to ask. About the cheating. Vanessa admitted she made it up. You need to see the proof. The next afternoon, we met at a small coffee shop downtown. When I walked in, Sophie was already there, sitting near the window, fidgeting with her phone like she was rehearsing what to say. I sat down across from her, my pulse thudding. Thanks for meeting me, she said awkwardly. I wasn't sure you'd show. Well, I'm here, I said. What's going on? She took a deep breath, then opened a message thread on her phone. I've been friends with Vanessa for years, she said quietly. But after what she did, I can't stay silent. You deserve to know. She handed me her phone. And the second I read those messages, my stomach twisted. Vanessa. OMG, Claire finally left him. She actually believed it. LOL. Sophie. Wait, what are you talking about? Vanessa. I told her I saw him kissing some random girl in his car. You should have seen her face. Priceless. Sophie. Vanessa, are you serious? Why would you do that? Vanessa. Because he's a controlling jerk and she's too stupid to see it. I helped her. I had to grip the phone to keep my hands from shaking. That was the moment I realized. Vanessa hadn't just lied. She hadn't just interfered. She had engineered the entire downfall of my marriage. And Claire had swallowed every word. And the worst part? This wasn't even the end. That I kept scrolling through those messages, my thumb shaking, my pulse spiking, every new line somehow worse than the last. Then I saw the one that made my stomach twist. Vanessa. It's not like their marriage would have lasted anyway. Claire is so gullible she'll believe anything I tell her. Sophie. Vanessa, what is wrong with you? This is messed up. Vanessa. Whatever. She's better off without him. And I won't have to hear about their perfect marriage anymore. Gag. I stopped. I literally couldn't read another word. My jaw locked so tightly I felt pain shoot toward my temples. I handed the phone back to Sophie with the stiffest fingers. She actually said that? My voice came out hoarse, like the air had been punched out of me. Sophie nodded slowly, looking embarrassed, or maybe ashamed on Vanessa's behalf. She did, she said quietly. She thought it was hilarious. She bragged about it for weeks. I didn't believe her at first. I honestly thought she was joking. But when she started mocking Claire too, I realized she wasn't exaggerating. She was proud of it. I sat there, staring at the table between us, trying to process the fact that Vanessa didn't just lie, she orchestrated the collapse of my marriage like it was a petty prank. She didn't just betray Claire. She mocked her. She exploited her trust for entertainment. Why tell me this now? I finally asked. Why not months ago? Sophie looked down, swirling her coffee cup nervously. I guess. I was scared, she admitted. Vanessa can be really intense. Controlling. She likes holding power over people. But after everything fell apart, I couldn't stay quiet anymore. It's not fair to you. And honestly, it's not fair to Claire either. I took screenshots of everything, every message, every timestamp. I thanked Sophie for coming forward, even though gratitude barely covered what I felt. On the drive home, my emotions were all over the place. Not just anger. Not just betrayal. A deep, simmering fury. I was furious at Vanessa, for being manipulative, entitled, and cruel. Furious at Claire, for believing her without hesitation. Furious at myself, for letting this woman inch her way into our marriage unchecked. But underneath all of that, there was relief. Validation. Proof that I wasn't crazy. Proof that I hadn't done anything wrong. All this time I'd been replaying everything in my head, wondering what I could have done differently, wondering why everything fell apart so fast. And the answer was simple. Vanessa had been setting me up from the beginning. And Claire walked right into her trap. By the time I pulled into my driveway, the explosive anger had solidified into something colder. Sharper. Focused. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to break anything. I wasn't going to chase anyone down. I was going to do it the right way. First thing I did was email the screenshots to my lawyer. This is what really happened. Let me know how we can use it. Then I sat there staring at my phone, thumb hovering over Claire's name. Part of me didn't want to tell her anything. She'd made her decision. She'd chosen Vanessa's lies over my marriage. But another part, the part that still respected the years we shared, felt she deserved to know. So I finally typed. We should talk. It's important. She responded almost immediately. What do you want? Cold. Distant. But she answered. I kept my reply short. I have proof Vanessa lied. Can we meet? You need to see this. A long pause, 3 dots appearing and disappearing, until finally. Fine. Tomorrow afternoon. Where? We settled on a park near her new place. Neutral territory. I didn't want her back. I wasn't interested in fixing anything. But I wanted my name cleared. When she arrived, she looked nervous, shoulders tense, hands shoved into her hoodie pockets. She gave me a small, hesitant wave as she walked over. What is this about? She asked, arms crossing defensively. I didn't waste time. I pulled out my phone, opened the screenshots, and handed it to her. Read this. Her brow furrowed, confused, and then she began scrolling. At first, her face was blank. Then confusion. Then disbelief. And by the time she reached the final message, her skin had gone pale. Her hands trembled as she gave me back the phone. She lied, she whispered, more to herself than to me. Yeah, I said quietly. She lied about everything. She made the entire cheating story up, and she thought it was funny. Claire sank onto the park bench beside me, staring at the ground like it held all the answers she'd missed. I never thought she started weakly, then trailed off. You never thought she'd lie to you? I cut in, my tone sharper than intended. That's the problem, Claire. You didn't think. You didn't question anything. You just believed her. And threw me under the bus. She flinched, tears gathering in her eyes. I thought I was doing the right thing, she whispered. She's been my best friend for so long. I trusted her. Yeah, I said, letting the words land. And that trust cost you your marriage. Claire looked up at me then, eyes glossy, tears slipping down her cheeks. I'm so sorry, she choked out. I swear I didn't know. I never would have. That's the point, I interrupted, softer but still firm. You didn't know. You didn't even try to know. You trusted her more than me. And that says everything. Silence fell between us, heavy and suffocating. Finally, Claire wiped her face and whispered, I'll cut her off. I promise. I'll never talk to her again. We can fix this. We can try counseling. Whatever it takes. I pinched the bridge of my nose, exhaling. Part of me wanted to believe her. The other part knew the truth. The damage wasn't Vanessa's lie. It was Claire's lack of trust. I don't think we can fix this, I said finally. It's not just what she did. It's how fast you believed her. How little trust you had in me. You can't rebuild a marriage on that. Claire broke down, sobbing harder. I was stupid, she cried. I should have talked to you. I should have trusted you. Please, please give me one more chance. I shook my head. I'm sorry, Claire. I can forgive the mistake. But I can't rebuild trust you never had. She kept crying. I felt a flicker of sympathy, but it faded as quickly as it came. Because I remembered the nights alone. The awkward stares. The friends who ghosted me. The whispered rumors. The humiliation. All because she never once asked, is this true? I think it's best if we move on, I said, standing. I wish it were different. But this is where we are now. Claire didn't chase me. She didn't stand. She just cried into her hands while I walked away. And for the first time in months, I felt in control again. Later that night, she sent a long apology, pages of regret and pleading. I didn't respond. There was nothing left to say. Vanessa might have started the fire, but Claire was the one who let it burn down our marriage. I wasn't rebuilding from ashes. Instead, I sent the screenshots to a few mutual friends who had ghosted me. No explanation. No commentary. Just the truth. Within hours, my phone blew up with apologies. I can't believe she did that. I'm so sorry. Let me know if you need anything. You didn't deserve any of this. It was validating. But the truth? I didn't want those friendships back. If people could drop me so easily, I didn't need them. And Vanessa? I didn't confront her. She wasn't worth a single second of my breath. But word spreads fast. A few days later, my friend Hannah called me. You're not gonna believe this, she said. But Vanessa's basically been kicked out of the whole friend group. And honestly, for the first time since the divorce, I smiled. Because karma finally clocked in for work, when Hannah told me Vanessa had basically been exiled from the friend group, I didn't quite believe it, not until I checked for myself. And yes, I did it in incognito mode. I wasn't about to let Vanessa see me lurking. Sure enough, the rumors were true. Her social media was a full-blown meltdown. She'd posted multiple cryptic stories and long, self-pitying paragraphs about fake friends and how she only wanted to help. One post read, "Guess people can't handle the truth. I stood up for Claire when everyone else abandoned her, and now I'm the villain. Whatever." It would have been funny if it wasn't so pathetic. And the comments were brutal, and for once, not aimed at me. People told her exactly what she needed to hear. Helping? You blew up a marriage. This is what happens when you manipulate people. Look in the mirror before blaming everyone else. Watching the mask slip off her carefully curated persona? Yeah, I'll be honest. It felt good. Not vindictive. Not cruel. Just fair. But while Vanessa was imploding publicly, Claire wasn't doing much better privately. She'd moved back in with her parents, and from what I heard, things at home were tense, especially with her mother. And to be fair, her mother never liked Vanessa. She tolerated her, but she always said friends like that burn your life down if you let them too close. A mutual friend told me there was a massive argument one night. Her mother said, loudly, apparently, "You threw away a good man because a liar snapped her fingers. How could you be so blind?" Harsh. Absolutely. Wrong? Not really. Claire had been trying to rebuild, but nothing was landing right. She reached out to old friends, hoping to reconnect, but most of them kept their distance. They'd seen how easily she believed Vanessa's poison. They didn't want to end up in the same position I had been in. Hannah told me, she looks miserable. Like she's trying to act fine, but you can see it on her face. I didn't take pleasure in her pain, not exactly. But I wasn't about to pretend it didn't validate my choices. Then came the icing on the cake. Vanessa got fired. Sophie texted me out of the blue. Just a heads up, Vanessa lost her job today. Turns out, her reputation caught up with her at the office. Coworkers had found out what she did. Sophie didn't say who leaked the story, and I didn't ask, but after that, nobody wanted to work with her. She'd always been the office whirlwind anyway, stirring up drama wherever she went. Eventually, management noticed the tension and let her go. Interpersonal issues, they called it. I'd love to say I felt sorry for her. But I didn't. Not even a little. She spent years manipulating people, inserting herself where she didn't belong, and hurting whoever got in her way. She finally hit the wall she built herself. Life, meanwhile, slowly started getting better for me. A few months later, I ran into Sophie again at a coffee shop. Total coincidence. We ended up sitting together, catching up on life and the latest chaos in their circle. She leaned in, lowering her voice. "You're gonna love this, Claire reached out to Vanessa a few weeks ago." My eyebrows shot up. Seriously? After everything? Sophie nodded. Yep. She tried to apologize. Wanted closure or something. And Vanessa, Sophie rolled her eyes, Vanessa laughed in her face. Called her pathetic. Told her she didn't need her anymore. I shook my head, half amused, half stunned. Figures. Vanessa can't take responsibility for anything. Sophie smirked. Well, they're both getting what they earned. And honestly? She wasn't wrong. Looking back now, I'm not glad my marriage ended the way it did, no sane person would be. But I am grateful I got out. Eventually, Claire and Vanessa tore each other apart without any help from me. That friendship was a ticking time bomb, and I had been standing too close to the blast zone. They detonated themselves. And I walked away clean. Funny how life works. Karma doesn't rush, it arrives exactly when it's meant to. And when it hits like a freight train. Claire learned the cost of trusting the wrong person. Vanessa learned what happens when your entire personality is chaos. And me? I moved on. I built a life that feels peaceful, healthy, full of people who actually respect me and show up when it matters. And as far as revenge goes? Living well is the best ending I could have hoped for.